What's up, guys? Bullfire the Fell-Handed here, bringing you the Art of the Panzer 5-4 Ram Panzer Part 8. Here we are on Severgorsk. The Greens occupy the northeastern spawn. The Reds occupy the southwestern spawn. Now, here directly in this tank, we are going straight west. Try to make a good, strong position there, A1, A2, B1 area. Post up there, see if we can't get some shots early on in the game. Now, this is a powerful tank in close quarters, and you should use it as such. Granted, you need to know when to use it. You don't just want to rush in there and charge, because what's going to happen is you are going to be face-hugging your enemy, running APCR, if we have learned anything from my previous videos, and his buddies and friends and opposing team are going to be circling you, shooting you the entire time. So we need to make sure this does not happen. So you need to be very cautious. You need to watch yourself. You need to know when it's time to ram and when not time to ram. When it's not time to ram. Now, you will notice we are high tier in this match, so we do have a little bit of leeway. We can do kind of what we want. We don't necessarily have to play by the rules, but at the same time, caution is always a good watchword. Now, you'll notice I'm being pinned here. I don't really realize why I'm being pinned for a moment, and I'm more kind of concerned with the mechanics than how to get out of it, because the guy is repeatedly pinning me when he really shouldn't be. The reason he was pinning me, and I have verified this with Armor Inspector, is he was on a higher level than me, firing down on me. Now, what this does is this takes your effective armor and reduces it considerably, because you no longer have the angle where you normally would on a flat surface. The armor he's shooting at is considerably thinner because there's no angle to it. So that was the primary reason he was pinning me. And of course, getting tracked in front of half a dozen Reds didn't really help either. This is one of those games where we do okay but not fantastic. And this is yet again to show you that it's okay to do a game where you don't hit your numbers, but at the same time you still do well. At the end of the game, you look at the numbers compared to other people's numbers, and yes, we didn't do what we were looking for, but we did okay. Can we live with it? Yes. Now, I'm kind of trying to side scrape here, but I'm concerned because I have guys on both sides. You never want to be in that situation where you're side scraping and someone pulls out on you and to where they can get a complete 90-degree shot. Not necessarily saying that happened, but what happened actually right there is he pulled out and put a round in my side. This tank has extremely thin side armor, so you have to be very careful. If you over angle too much, you're going to expose your side and you're going to make it weaker, enabling the Reds to pin you very easy. So you have to be careful. You have to be aware of where your tank is in relation to the Reds, more or less at all times during the game. So you need to be cautious and aware of it. Now, the application that I mentioned was Armor Inspector. I highly recommend you download this app if you have the capability to do so. For example, it will show you, the upper plate, for example, is 60 millimeters. It's angled at 60-degree slant, which effectively doubles its armor. That's a effective 120 millimeters of effective armor on that particular plate. If you turn the tank aside from if you take it off of a complete 90-degree angle, a straight shot, then your armor will increase, effectively depending on where you angle. So it's a wealth of knowledge. I do not recommend the armor guide in the game, in the new update. Please don't use it. I'm going to do a video series on what armor guide to use. Please don't use that one. It does not give you effective armor. It just gives you your armor before angling, before slope, what have you. You can find that on any website. Now, moving on, this is one of those games where it looks like it's going to end up being a cap war, and it very well may be. Now, granted, I know a lot of you aren't tickled to death about having cap wars, and no one is really either. A lot of people can't abide campers and cappers, and they end up putting them in the same spot as artillery. So they save room and hatred for cappers, campers, and artillery. But, we all enjoy playing this game. So I say to you, if you like playing artillery, if you like camping, I personally am not a fan of it, but if you enjoy it, do it. It's all about having fun.